Big Tom is dead before his time, dead so shortly after his beloved rose, and the world mourns the king of country. So once again, it is with a heavy heart and heartfelt sorrow that I, on behalf of the entire Orland community, offer my deepest sympathy to the McBride family on the death of Big Tom, the man who was a friend to everyone. To his grieving children, Thomas, Ashley, Dermot and Siobhan, his sister Madge, his sons-in-law, daughters-in-law, grandchildren, and wider circle of relations and friends, my most sincere sympathy. Countless tributes and commendations have been paid to our gentle giant over the past few days, on TV and radio, newspapers and social media. Each and every one of them paying glowing homage to Tom, both as a person and in terms of his worthwhile contribution to the music industry. All have talked about the significant influences and impact he had on the lives and times of Irish people everywhere over the last 5 decades. All of these tributes have been so well articulated, so well deserved, leaving me in a position to ask myself, what more can I say? What more can I say that has not already been said? So therefore, on reflection, all I can say is, thanks, Tom. Thanks, big fella. Thanks for living next door to me, Tom. You and Rose were the best neighbours anyone could ever ask. And thanks, Tom, for the music, for introducing country music to an entire generation. I heard Tom sing The First Fall of Snow at a concert in the Orem Old Hall in the early 60s, and I was hooked for life. Someone once said, music is food for the soul. In Tom's music, this should read, music is food for the heart and the soul. Because Tom's music pulled at the heartstrings and it penetrated to the very heart of the soul. Thanks, Tom, for all the songs we know and love so well. The songs we played over and over and over again on box record players, on tape recorders, on 4 and 8 track car stereos, on MP3 players and on YouTube. I can vividly remember Tom's first LP, a little bit of country and Irish, on vinyl of course. The cover photograph, if you remember, was taken at the Riverdale Hotel in Ballybay. Myself and my family would listen to it for hours and then, on and on and on a little record player that Tom had kindly donated and given to my sister as a present. The Country Hall of Fame. Be careful of stones that you throw. Tears on our bridal bouquet, the cold hard facts of life, the Isle of It is free. Words and music interwoven into the very fabric of our being. Thanks, mighty man, for the dances. How I and countless thousands all over Ireland would stand and wait in anticipation and adoration at the side of a dance hall to watch the mainliners or the travellers strike up their opening numbers. And then later on, at the end of the night, when your fate was sealed, for better or for worse, hearing the closing chords of Tom's signature tune, Lonesome at Your Table. Wonderful, 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 precious memories all. And thanks, Tom, for your contribution to life here in our local Orem community. Born and reared in this little rural village, it was always your own, the place you loved, the place you called home, the place where you were free to fish and free to farm, free to drive your quad, your tractors, far away from the limelight and far away from the spotlight. And thanks, Tom, for your generosity of spirit, your willingness to help and assist in all local endeavours. Our local GAA club will be forever in your debt. You were always at hand to help out with fundraising for the club. You saw it as your duty to support those in need. Even recently, when you were not in the best of health, you braved the harsh elements to do your faithful Grand Marshal duties at our local St. Patrick's Day parade. Your desire to please and your inability to refuse was always to the fore. Bless you, big man. And thanks again, Tom, for making us proud to belong to Orem here. When Castlevania or Orem were ever mentioned in conversation, irrespective of what part of Ireland you were in, it was always the same remark: Orem, big Tom country. Tom, you put Orem on the map. You made us all famous, and we gloated. We will miss you, Tom, and life here will never be the same again. But your spirit lives on, your music lives on, and your legacy lives on. Our grief as a community and as fans of Big Tom is real and strong. But it is, of course, as nothing compared to the sadness and sorrow felt here today by your beloved family. We may mourn a legend, but they grieve for a much-loved fowl. And this loss is all the more poignant for them because it follows so soon after the death of their beautiful, wonderful mother, Rose. May she rest in peace. And on a lighter note, ladies and gentlemen, I personally would like to thank Tom for a very special favour. Big Tom got me off the cigarettes. Or should I say, he stopped me from starting the cigarettes. Now, as a 17-year-old, I was getting a lift home from Tom's dance with some other members of the Mainliners. It was a dance in Forge Cross Carnival near Crossman Lane. And in the car, Tom passed round a pack of cigarettes, but not to be outdone, I proceeded to light up as well, for the very first time. Now, on the journey home, we came across a wake house of a person known to Tom. As the Mainliners were playing away the following day, the lads decided to stop and pay their respects. I stayed in the car, and very, very soon I started to suffer from the ill effects of the cigarettes. I was getting queasier and queasier by the minute, and just about managed to screw down the window and was violently sick along the outside of the car, into a hedge of thorny bushes. Afterwards, I vowed to Almighty God that I would never smoke again. So I'm eternally grateful to Big Tom for giving me that cigarette. And only a couple of years ago, I told Tom that story, and with his very wry sense of humor, he smiled and said, "You owe me one." We Irish people everywhere love our songs. We are the music makers and we are the dreamers of dreams. And we love the singers of those songs. And so we all love Big Tom. But here, today in Orem, we mourn Big Tom's passing in a special way. We have lost one of our own. Tom's life and being touched us all. He has been the most wonderful ambassador for his family and his community. In his life, he was and still is loved by millions, and we in this small community are so proud and so privileged to have called him our own. Only 11 short weeks ago, I said at Rose's funeral that she would not like leaving Tom. She was always at his side. And Tom's favourite song was "Give My Love to Rose." And he was heartbroken to lose her. Today, they are together again, side by side. Rose is smiling, and Tom is singing, back in my baby's arms again. Slán Nish, Thomas Moore McGill Region, or yes, Jay Garo and Anna.